Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to work the German short row technique for double knitting. This allows you to change direction halfway along a row without leaving any unsightly gaps or holes. So how is it done? Well, when you get to the point where you want to work the German short row, I've already worked all the way along this row here, and I'm going to be working the German short row on this pair of stitches here. The first thing to do is to knit the knit stitch with the colour of yarn specified by your pattern, bring the yarns forward and purl the purl stitch with the opposite colour. Now normally after that you would take both yarns to the back and carry on knitting. For the German short row technique, all you do is you bring the colour of the purl stitch yarn to the back of the work only, leaving the knit stitch colour at the front. This is where you work the turn. So here we are, we've turned the work to the other side. Now you'll see that we've got the white yarn here at the front and the other yarn is still hanging there at the back. The next thing to do is to slip one stitch purlwise from left needle to right. Then here's the bit which gets a little bit crazy. You take this yarn and pull up on it so that it pulls this leg of the stitch out of its normal alignment and pull that yarn over to the other side. Can you see on the top you've got this kind of crazy configuration of the yarns. It's a part of the stitch from below and this yarn pulling over the top. Once you've done that, bring the yarn back towards you through and between the needles. So we've created this double stitch with the white over there. The next thing to do is bring the opposite yarn forward, also between the needles. Then we can slip that stitch from left to right and again pull up on that yarn and over the top. This time we just take the white yarn, the first yarn, back between the needles and we are ready to continue working. You'll notice that we've now got a double white stitch on the needle and a double green stitch as well. That's exactly right and exactly how it should be. Then you just continue knitting as you would normally until you get to a place in the row where you want to work another German short row manoeuvre. And I'm going to get to that point in just a moment and I can show it to you one more time. Let's do it here. So say this is the pair I want to work the short row manoeuvre into. What I do is I will knit it, bring the yarns forward, purl the next stitch, leaving both yarns where they are, then just take the colour of yarn that matches the purl stitch only, the one you've just worked, to the back. And that's where we turn the work. Now I'll slip one stitch from left to right, pull up on that front yarn, pull over the top and round and back towards me. Bring the opposite yarn through the needles as well, slip that stitch, pull up on that yarn and over the back, take the front yarn through the needles and continue knitting as normal. Here we are. So what happens then when you get back to your German short row stitch? You've got those crazy double stitches, here they are on the needle. What do you do with them when you get to them? Well, you just treat them as one stitch. When we're working over the top of them, we literally just knit into them as if they were one normal stitch. I'm nearly back there now so I can show you exactly what I mean. So here we are, we've reached the point where we've got this crazy double stitch with its little tangle of yarns over the top, followed by the one for the opposite side of the fabric as well. And all you do is you just go into both strands of that stitch as if it were one and knit it, bring the yarns forward, go into both strands of that stitch too and purl it just as if it were any other pair of double knit stitches. I'm just going to complete the edge stitches and then I can show you exactly what that's done. Here in the centre of the swatch I've now got more rows of stitches. You can see it's sort of billowing a little bit and that's because of the shaping. It's almost like a heel cup. And you can see absolutely, this is where the German short row stitch was. There's no hole there at all. On the other side, I haven't worked that stitch yet. You can still see I've got the double stitches ready to be knitted through as if they were one stitch each, remember. It makes a perfectly smooth fabric, and on the other side it looks just as good. There's absolutely no... I mean, you can see that something's gone on there, but there's no holes. It makes a very smooth looking short row join. And there you are, the German short row for double knitting.